So let's start with our blocking for the run cycle. And for that, I'm gonna using the same base as I use for the walk cycle. The only thing is just renaming to blocking 001. And when it comes to times, for this style we're going for, I'd say roughly between 18 to 24 is a good starting point. So I'm probably gonna go to 22. And as you can see here, the middle point is 11, so that means we're not able to spread evenly all the keys across the timeline. And that's why, because when it comes from the passing, which is going to be the first pose, to the pushing, I'm going to have only 2 frames. So that means we're going to have here the passing, midpoint is going to be the up, and then we're going to have evenly here the contact, and in the frame second the push. So from the passing to the push, we're going to have, a shorter amount of frames. That's going to help us to give a bit more like momentum into the run cycle. So moving into the first pose, which is going to be the passing pose. And here, one of the key features is it's roughly around this. So we have like the lowest point of the animation. So maybe something like this. And also we have the extreme when it comes to side. So let's say we pick the left foot on the planted and the right foot swinging forward in here. That means we're going to bring this tiny bit to the side, a tiny bit favoring here. And when it comes to the forward motion, I just want to like bring it a tiny back, because what I'm going to do is like when we're going to the push and the up, I'm going to bring it a bit slightly bit forward, and it's going to be subtle, but it's going to give a nice texture into the animation. So that would be for the translation. I want to do as well, same as we did for the walk, as a starting point to lean the character forward quite a bit already. Same with the chest a tiny bit. There you go. Something like this. Maybe a bit less. And I'm already gonna place the head looking a bit down, to give more intention. But yeah, because this way we have, as a starting point, a nice diagonal, when it comes to the line of action. So moving into the rotation of the hips, let's key everything, and let's move the pole vectors quite far away so we don't have the same issues. Here, as we have the supporting leg here on the left, we have this really nice contraposto in here. So something like this. And then when it comes to the X rotation, this is, by the way, if you click here on the channel box on a specific channel, it's gonna isolate the channel, and it's only gonna affect that. Because sometimes if you click and you start rotating, as you can see here, affects everything. So this is a nice way to just say, okay, I just want to make sure this one, goes into a certain amount without affecting the rest. And here what we want to have is this really nice C shape between the hips and the torso. As you can see, I'm not exaggerating this too much like that, because even though it's a bit stylized, it's a character that has armor. So I want to keep a bit that kind of like rigid armor plate feeling on that. So that would be for the X. And when it comes to the Y, it's going to be a tiny bit, but as the right foot is swinging forward, I want to like favor it that tiny bit on that. Something like this. Then we move into the legs. And for that, when it comes to the front, it's going to be similar as with the walk. Going to bring the foot a bit inwards. Maybe something like this. The faster you run, you're going to see this foot goes pretty much here into the center. As you know, it's literally a straight line, the body, when it comes to the foot. But here I'm going to leave a bit of room, and I'm going to support this, like opening up a bit the pole vectors. And as well, I'm going to relax a bit the foot, like opening a bit the rotation on the side. Spring on the left here, and just pretty much leave it springing a bit back, because we don't want to like perfectly align with the hips, just a tiny bit back, so we can help, with that line of action. And then moving into the right foot here, when we were analyzing the references, you could see that professional athletes completely compressing here, but in this case, as a bit more relaxed pacing walk, I'm gonna keep it something like this, and I'm gonna bring this back quite a bit, and we're gonna add a nice drag on the toes, something like that. Another thing you can do sometimes is in here, if you want to make it like to feel a bit faster, you can increase a bit the toe roll here, so it never feels like it's planting completely the foot, but I'm gonna leave it as it is for now. And when it comes to the right foot, I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna bring from the front a bit inwards, as well, something like this. Gonna open up the pole vector, and if we see the rotation, what I mainly want to do here is like open up the foot in here, something like this, because it takes off, boom, opens, and then it's gonna like swing back inwards, as we saw the same as we saw on the walk, before it plants. So something like this. So that would be for the foot. Then we can move into the torso, and for the torso, main thing is gonna be the contrapposto. So this one, boom, nicely in here. The X we already like cover it, and the Y what I'm gonna do is gonna be the opposite to the legs. So it's the hips are going here. We're gonna like swing the other way around a tiny bit to his right. That way we have this nice opposite motion. So when the right foot is forward, the left arm is forward, something like that. We can, by the way, support a bit with the neck in here, so the head doesn't feel fully disconnected, something like that. And then when it comes to the arms, just want them like drop them quite a bit, something like this. And the arms, the main thing here is, instead of reacting to the motion, they're gonna be leading the motion. So we want, boom, this one like swinging forward quite nicely. Same with the wrist. This one, I'm gonna bring this a bit, something like that. So it's coming from the nice back position, swinging into the front. And then when it comes to the X, I'm gonna bring it forward, because I want to swing not only forward but also a bit inwards, so to keep that nice momentum into the pushing pose. The shoulders here is quite nice as it is at the moment, so I'm gonna leave them. And when it comes to the other forearm, the same, but it's gonna be a bit less as it's swinging back now, starting to open up. And here we're gonna bring maybe something like that. Yeah, like this. And what I'm gonna do as well, even though back I wanna swing a bit out, I'm gonna keep it, a bit inwards in the X rotation, so it feels like it gives a bit more intention. And the wrist, something like this, is starting to go back as well to help with the motion. So yeah, something like this. Maybe actually let me see the left arm. I might actually bring it a bit more forward. Yeah, there you go. So then we can keep, copy 22, 11, and we can mirror in here. There you go. And now we can move into the app, which, as we say, it's gonna be in the frame 5. And here, the main thing is gonna be, or around here is gonna be the highest point. So let's lift a tiny bit more in here, maybe not that much. Something like this, maybe. A bit less, actually. Yeah, because we want a nice bounce, but don't want to like overly exaggerated one. When it comes to side, I'm gonna leave it as it is, because it's, let me bring the graphator, can show better. So it's gonna be swinging from one extreme to the other, so I'm gonna leave it as it is at the moment. And when it comes to C, here is when we want the nice, slightly, forward motion, like that, so it's gonna be very subtle, as we said, but it's gonna be nice, a nice touch. When it comes to the rotation, the main thing is gonna be, let's see, yeah, so good, yeah. So the Y is gonna be the extreme in this pose. So here we're gonna go quite favoring the right foot, which is the foot like swinging, boom. And then when it comes to the C, as this foot, the left one, is gonna be back, because it's taking off gonna favor that. Let me isolate this a bit. Let's bring this down quite a bit. You see, so we can like favor this nice line of action. And when it comes to X, here is when we reverse completely, and we have the nice reverse. See here, something like that. We can move into the foot now. Let's do first the left one, and for that, let's go back to the side view. We got this really nice pose here. You know, not fully stretched, but because that's gonna be during the push, but just really nice still, like stretch foot in here, because that way between the push and this one we're gonna have this really nice couple of frames that we're gonna see the foot like fully stretched, and it's gonna help, especially if we have like a top-down view type of game. So we're in here, something like this, and then we still keep the rotation nice. I'm gonna give a reverse, like dragging onto the toes. There you go. This, and then yeah, I think that looks quite nice. And when it comes to the translation, I think I'm gonna bring this inwards, a tiny bit inwards in here, because it's when it swings in, inwards, and then it opens up, and then it plants. You know, same with the walk. So it goes back, and then it opens up and goes back into the center. Something like this. And if we check, oops, there you go. If we check the back position, slightly open, something like that, yeah, to help, you know, slightly easing into the passing pose, something like that. So I might actually turn a bit on the C rotation. We wanna always, as we said, like add a bit of motion in each axis, you know, so the character feels nice and alive. And then if we go into the right foot, so when they're swinging forward, we wanna like really nice, like forward, like something like this actually. Yeah, we're gonna keep a bit of the drag on the toe, maybe not that much. Then we can rotate this. Yeah, something like this looks cool. Gonna bring this up. There you go. Yeah, that looks nice. And if we check the front, yeah, what we mainly want to tweak is, as you can see here, the C is open this way, and we want to like reverse that. That way we have this really nice swing when it's like contacting and landing, same as we did with the walk. Something like this. And I'm gonna open up this a tiny bit more. Oops, not this one. A tiny bit more in here. And then it closes. There you go. Something like that. Actually, I'm gonna open this even more. There you go. And then we can move onto the chest. You know, here the chest. So the main thing is gonna be, we have the reverse C in here. So maybe something like this. Just with the up. And then when it comes to the side-to-side motion, the same. We're gonna have really nice to this direction, maybe something like this. Gonna bring this a bit inwards. Yeah, something like that. And then when it comes to the C translation rotation, sorry, what we're gonna have is it's gonna swing and favor, the other one. Something like this. So it's gonna like favor this one, which is the one on the opposite when we come to the passing, you know, So we have the really nice motion in here. That's cool. Then when it comes to the arms, let's move first into the left one. So here, okay, and everything, yeah, that's good. Here the left arm is gonna be like swinging forward, like quite a bit, maybe something like this, you know, and inside in the X as well, you know. Gonna open a bit the elbow, tiny bit, because we have this really nice, when it comes in, you know, opens up, boom, and goes in. So something like that, you know. And then the forearm, we said no, even more actually, because it's leading the motion. Boom. Actually, I'm gonna like exaggerate it a tiny bit more. And we can like help here with the shoulders, you know, emphasizing this. Boom. We can like bring up, you know, especially on the C, high. Boom. That way we had here a bit lower, and then boom, you know, we have this really nice up motion on the shoulders. And same with the right one. Here it's gonna be the same, but in the opposite direction. So shoulder is gonna be up, but backwards. When it comes to the Y, I'm gonna go boom, quite extreme in here, maybe something like this. Just check the side, maybe tiny bit more, you know, so that way you can see the nice contrast in here, how like far actually we take that left right arm. When it comes to the X, actually, I don't know why the curves are doing this. Maybe I'm gonna clean them a bit more, something like this. Yeah, I'm gonna open up a tiny bit in here. No, something like this. You guys, especially here on the X, you know how it opens up. Boom. And then when it comes to the head, here the main thing saying it's gonna be the X axis, and because the body is going up, you know, we have the really nice dragging here of the head. Boom. Maybe not that much, but yeah, really nice dragging here. Then we can select everything key, and it's gonna be 16, and we mirror. And now if we step and we just play these two key again, obviously it's only two poses, you know, but you can sense already, you know, the feel of the cycle, you know, how it's gonna look. You can see here, especially, you know, this really nice, like the stretch pose on the leg, that a bit of bounciness. So yeah, that's cool. We can move now into the other two key poses, which are gonna be, first I'm gonna cover the push, as I said here, around frame 2. So when it comes to things like the hips, let's go in here. There you go. We can check the graphator in here. What we want is like boom, getting this really nice push. So this is gonna favor a lot the up, so that way we have this really nice hang time in here. Then when it comes to the X, it's gonna be actually starting to favor the other one, because we want the big change, drastic change on translation and rotation. So same with the forward, you know, boom, this really nice like push forward, you know. So in 2 frames we have a big change of silhouette. When it comes to the rotation, coming here, it's gonna be the same when it comes to side, because the of the position, you know, I'm favoring the other one. We're gonna bring this up and favor this. Here actually we're gonna push a bit farther, because here is when we have the big push. So it's gonna take the extreme of the reverse C on the hips, and then it's gonna like slowly come back. And then for the C, what I'm gonna do is in here actually lower this, you know, boom, and support even more this really nice like line of action. So it's gonna create here, as you can see, like a weird shape on the curves that will clean properly later on during the polish. But boom, it's gonna be nice. Boom, and then see you have the nice tilting here, and then it kind of like settles before changing directions. That would be for the hips. Now moving into the legs. Let's go into the left leg first. So we go in here, and what we want to do is I'm gonna actually exaggerate the toe because I wanna feel the leg. Like here is pretty much the last point where the leg is actually like contacting the floor. So I'm gonna take it quite far. Boom. Something like this, which is pretty much fully stretched. So we wanna play with this position, you know, that as you can see here with the grid, it's pretty much, yeah, like the floor, and then taking off. Something like this. Pretty much fully stretched. Yeah, like that. I think like that looks quite cool actually. I'm gonna bring this a bit inwards, and I'm gonna reduce a bit the translation. There you go. You see, so we have this really nice line of action during the pushing phase. Boom. That then favors into this hang time. Things we want to double check in here as well is like when it comes to the side-to-side motion, we don't want any motion. Same with the rotation, you know, especially on the Y, boom, and on the C, you know, because still the foot is like going, you know, on the ground. So we don't want, you know, to all of the sudden start like sliding around, or same with the rotation, you know. Boom. Here, as you can see here as well, how, boom, there you go. Boom. That's nice. And then we can move into the right foot. Here again, we want to like start like favoring the nice swing in here. Boom. It's fast. Then we have a nice hold, and then boom, it contacts. So maybe something like this, because at the end of the day, what we want is like here it goes up on the takeoff, you know, have a nice round arc, and then it goes down and then up before contacting. You know, we have this really nice like shape. If I draw in here, where do I have the grease pencil? In here, you know, we have this really nice boom motion like this. You know, that's gonna look really cool. I can delete these things, frames. There you go. So back in here, we drag a bit. You know, we cannot play a bit with the drag on the toes as well, something like this. And if we walk front, you know, the main thing is like the X, I'm gonna start favoring the open. Boom. And when it comes to the rotation, just tiny bit out like this on the C, you know. So start twisting already for the tilt into here. Boom. So I'm gonna soften this tiny bit here. Yeah, something like that. Boom. Yeah, something like that looks good. And then we can move into the torso. And for the torso, it's gonna be very similar. We want this really nice pushing here, so I'm gonna favor a lot the up position. Same with the Y as well, because it's, you know, rotating here to favor the leading the motion with the arms. And same, and with the tilt, I'm gonna leave it as it is at the moment because it's transitioning into here. So we already have the favoring here for the between the up and the passing. I'm gonna leave it as it is. Boom, that in there. Then quickly for the head, we want boom, the nice drag. Play a bit more. Maybe I want a bit higher here. I'm not sure if I'm gonna leave it like favoring the up, or actually overshooting. Boom, and then here for the contact later to come back, something like this. But yeah, let's leave it as around here. Actually, I'm gonna like favor the up, and then we can move into the arms. So here, especially when it comes to the arms, we want pretty much the same. So let's go first into the left arm. You know, the swing, it's gonna boom, favor, boom. We want this really nice forward motion. You know, so if we see them, let's back to the grease pencil. Where is it? There you go. Here we want this really nice hold and then accelerate. You know, boom, and then we hold again. You know, so we have this really nice forward swing motion. You know, we want to avoid, you know, when it comes to the spacing, to have it linear, because then it's gonna look like weightless, you know, and a bit bland. So this is something that we want to keep in mind, and especially we can help that with the blogging. You know, if you go into the, why is this not working properly? There you go. If we go here, you know, with the, especially with the Y, okay, then we can do the same with the X, boom, something like that. And then when it comes to the forearm, we're gonna do the same. We're gonna favor this position in here, and same with the wrist. You can use this with the graphator. You can use the twin machine as well for that. You know, you press, boom. For example, let's go here in the forearm. If you click in here, you know, and you play with this, you can see here, right, how we favor the one before or the one after. So we can say, okay, we want something like this. So this is as well another very handy way of doing it. And then when it comes to the shoulder, you know, same, especially comes to the up, you know, starting to go up, you know, starting to go forward like this. And then we can move into the left arm, and for the left arm, it's gonna be pretty much the same. You know, we can do that, so we can do just like something like this. Maybe this one a bit more. Then if we move into the forearm, it's gonna be slightly different. What I'm gonna do in here is where is it? Yeah, there you go. Here, I want to actually have this nice rotation, and I'm gonna actually bring this key. This one is the same. Yeah, this one. Yeah. So actually, I'm gonna bring this two actually a bit back, a bit more back, because that way what we're gonna have is, as you can see here, the forearm a bit of like goes back and then starting to go inwards in here. See, so we have this really nice arc. If we track the hand, the wrist, boom, and then boom, we lead the motion. You see, it goes back, start already like rotating forward to lead the motion. So I think it's gonna look good, something like this, and same with the wrist. So if we pick the wrist in here, I'm gonna bring it a bit back actually to help leading the motion, and then start rotating inwards. And here what I'm gonna do is this to actually favor a bit the previous pose. Boom, and then we have this really nice motion. Yeah, something like this. As you can see here, there could be potentially some clipping, especially during the interpolation, but I don't want to worry too much about this now, because later on we'll cover the armor plates and the secondary motion, and we'll fix that and we'll make it look nice. Boom. So yeah, we can select everything. Let's make sure we keep. We go into frame 13, and then we mirror, and then we go into our last pose, which is gonna be the contact. And here, the main thing we're gonna cover during this contact is gonna be the foot. So we come here into the left, and we want a nice stretch pose. And as I said during the references, I don't want to have this contact. I want to be the moment before it contacts. That way we have the nice swing inwards on the foot when it plants. So maybe something like this. And then I'm gonna reverse the drag on the toe. It's gonna look good. There you go. And then the back foot, I think it's pretty much there. I'm just gonna exaggerate, open up a bit, and then the drag as well, you know, to keep like favoring a bit where it comes from, you know. You can see here, boom, all these frames, you know. That way when we see from far, you can see here how we have all this time where we have the really nice stretch leg. And it's gonna give us a really nice feel. Boom. Something like that. Bring it up. Then when it comes to the rotation in the front, in here, yeah, it's coming inwards now. The foot, as you can see, I'm gonna actually bring it almost here. Boom. Then plants, and the foot, we had this really nice. Gonna open up this tiny bit more, and then we had this really nice swing motion for the tilt. So something like this. If we check the other foot, the backward, it should be slightly open still. Yeah, like that. That's good. And then it's gonna swing forward. Boom. So you can see here the change of direction on the rotation. So that's cool. Yeah, the feet don't need that much. Yeah, we don't need to worry much because it's not planted or anything. So it was mainly the translation, you know, especially on X in here on the front and the rotation. Then we can move into the torso. And here for the torso, it's gonna be mainly still. We wanna have this nice hanging time, so I'm gonna favor a bit where we come from, you know, here, and then we have this really nice bounce, boom, on the C shape, and boom, we reverse again, something like this. Same with the Y, and same with the C. There you go. Boom. Actually, here I'm gonna overshoot this a tiny bit. No, I think I'm gonna leave it as it is for now, and then maybe I'll play around with this. For the head, as we said, in here, you know, for the drag, I'm gonna actually start like, because the body's actually dropping. Well, we haven't checked that. Sorry about that. So here is pretty much there. I think I'm gonna leave it as it is for now. Maybe a tiny bit more. Can drop it a tiny bit, you know, so we have this nice boom starting to drop higher. But yeah, this is something I think for now it kind of works. The natural transition. Boom. You have see this nice bounce, and then we can refine this properly. When it comes to the side-to-side motion, I'm gonna leave it as it is. And when it comes to the forward, here I'm gonna favor a bit the one before, and then boom, we compress, and then we push again. The rotation we haven't checked either. So when it comes to the Y, favoring where we come from as well. Same with the arms. You know, and here I'm gonna start like, yeah, we're gonna start like going back into the C shape. Boom. And when it comes to the C rotation, you know, I'm gonna actually keep it like favor like this. So as we said, we have this really nice settling here, and then boom, we change. Boom. Rotation, and we tilt. And now we can move into the arms, final part, and the arms pretty much are there already. So it's pretty much favoring the next key. So it's gonna be here. So here's when they start swinging. So I'm gonna like keep in here, and then boom, we have this really nice swing, as we said. So we can actually go in here with the twin machine, you know, bring it back. And when it comes to the forearm, I think I'm gonna leave it as it is at the moment, because it's already like swinging nicely. So you can see it in the motion. Same with the wrist. And what I'm gonna do is like favoring in here when we come from as well for the right arm. And same with the shoulders. Something like this. And then we can select everything, key, and then we copy in here, and we mirror. So then we can switch into step, and let's see. And as you can see here, like, I feel this is a really solid base to work with. We have the nice push. We see from far, we can see like the legs nicely, you know, when it's taking off and pushing. The arms leading the motion forward and backwards as well, so that's good. Yeah, side to side motion, the compression on the chest. Maybe the contrapposto, you know, the tilt on the chest maybe is a bit too much, but yeah, we can fix that. Maybe I'll bring actually the feet a bit closer, as we said, you know, so we can grab them this and I'll bring all these, like, oops, not this one, a bit closer in here. Same with the other foot, something like that. Yeah, you see, I think that looks better. But yeah, I think with this, it's a good base to again put in the game, you know, check how it feels, how it looks, and then like we are ready to move into the polish stage.